Hey guys, Linda here from Create Your Future with a video on how to manifest money fast. Before we begin, you know the drill. If you'd like one-on-one coaching with myself, the info is down below. And also, we do have a free course, how to uncover your blocks and manifest fast. Just a reminder, I am certified in NLP. I do have a background in behavior analysis and child development. So all my expertise and coaching experience is there to help you guys if you want coaching. So, how to manifest fast. So, first, I want to start off with a success story that I had with one of my clients. And so, what happened was her family had lent her money to put down on a house. And what ended up happening was she was going to be moving in with her boyfriend at the time, but she had like a lot of debt and things like that. So, she was going to use the money to pay off her debts and then move in with her boyfriend, and her parents would never know that she had all these debts. She was like embarrassed. You know, they were paying for her college, university. She went to school. She had a great education. You know, things happen. You pay for things. She got into some debt. No big deal. But she didn't want her family to know. So, yeah, she used that money to pay off her debts and then moved in with the boyfriend. Well, she came to me because her parents ended up asking her back for the money because they were going to make some renovations on her house. And she's like, Linda, I don't have it. Like, I can't get it. So yes, we tried the logical things like, you know, applying for a loan. And the people at the loan place had said that they can't give it to her based on her credit. Now, we could have revised that and affirmed that, yep, she got the loan. Everything is fine. She paid back her dad. Everything's perfect. Everything's great. And all of the above. Or she kind of said, no, I just want this over with. She's like, I just want this done. I wish this like never happened. She's like, I don't even want to like have the loan because then I still got to pay back the loan. Like I don't want any of it. So as within, you know, working together, we uncovered some of her stories and blocks about money. And she had said that her family had always struggled with money. They would have money, they would lose it quickly. You know, she was raised with those comments like money doesn't grow on trees, money's hard to make, money's hard to keep. And she realized that her parents were like that. So she was having that same kind of belief system. That was kind of one of her limiting beliefs as well. And what happened? She made the money fast and she lost it fast. Exactly what she kind of was subconsciously affirming. So we've uncovered some of her blocks, this, that, and the other. And basically we stuck to some way, somehow, I'm getting this money, some way, somehow, this is going to change. You know, your dad changed his mind. Your dad no longer needs the money. Your dad no longer wants to do the renovation, some way, somehow, something or other. 4 days 4 days later, she sent in an email to our reception saying that her dad ended up changing his mind, was not going to do the renovations because grandma was going to move in with him and didn't want her to be living there while there was the construction. That's how you manifest money. She didn't get the money in a sense. She didn't have to give it back. So the money that she did get initially from her parents, she manifested in money that helped her pay off her debts. She didn't have to pay it back. So that in itself is still gaining and keeping the money. So that was one of our success stories. It was really cool. It was so fast. So now, what did we do? I kind of give you a bit of the blurb when I was explaining her story. The first thing you have to do with any manifestation, money, SP, appearance, weight loss, jobs, whatever it is, you have to first figure out your blocks. So blocks, for lack of better words, is what is that limiting belief? What is that fear? What is that story? What is that assumption that you're holding on to in the back of your head that's getting in the way from you believing you could have the desire? In this case, money. So like I said, money doesn't grow on trees. Maybe mom and dad had to struggle. Maybe you grew up poor. Maybe, you know, your family always had to borrow money from others. So you knew money was scarce. You had a scarcity mindset around money. You know, maybe you saw your parents fighting over money or crying because they couldn't pay a bill. Maybe there was nights that you guys, you know, went hungry because, you know, your family couldn't prepare food or you had like leftovers for 3 days because of that. First thing you have to do is discover, what is my story about money? Write it out. Write it out. What is your experience with money? Easy come, easy go. All of those phrases. Or like, I can make money, but every time I make money, I lose it. A bill comes out. You know, a bunch of birthdays that I have to pay for comes out. My car breaks down. Something. Every time I make money, I lose it. What is your story? Is your story that when you get money, you lose it? Is it hard to keep? Money doesn't grow on trees? Is it that rich people think they're all that and are mean people, like rich people are selfish? What story are you holding about the money? That is what you're going to jot down. And only you know that. I can give you only so much information through a video, but you have to observe and discover what those blocks are. Now, once you've uncovered those blocks, you're going to write your intentions. Your intentions is the opposite of that. So if the first thing is money doesn't grow on trees, the opposite would be I intend that I make money easily and effortlessly. If one of your blocks is easy come, easy go, I make money easily and it's here to stay. So that's the kind of thing that you want to be doing. That's the kind of story you want to be saying. So on top of like saying your intentions, your affirmations, you can either reread the script that you wrote out. You can record it on a Parrot app and play it in the background. You could do it in the morning. You can do it before bed. I also encourage you to try other techniques. So the techniques in themselves are not magic things that make it manifest, but they're different tools to help you kind of stay on track with that story, with that money making story. Visualize yourself buying that thing that you wanted the money for, the house, the car. Visualize opening a check from work with that raise you wanted on it. Things like that. You can script it like a diary. Dear diary, today was an amazing day. I played a scratch ticket and I won $1 million. Oh my gosh, I was finally able to buy my home and help my parents pay off their debts. Okay. Another thing is that when something comes in that costs money, be very cognizant of your thought, your reaction, your assumption, what you say around it. What I mean is, if a bill comes in, you say, yep, I got the money to pay that bill. Even if you don't, I got the money to pay that bill. Money comes to me easily and effortlessly. Some way, somehow, I'm paying off this bill. Somebody can pay you back money they owed you. You can get a raise. You can find 20 bucks on the floor. It could have been a mistake on your bill. You could have got a discount, some type of credit from the last time you paid on it, so the bill is no longer what it is. You don't know. So some way, somehow, I'm paying this bill. The thing is, we tend to do something like, oh gosh, I just got paid and this bill's already coming out. That's again showing money scarcity. Or saying something like, your friends want to go for dinner. You say, oh my gosh, that's so expensive. Like, I can't afford it. Now, obviously, we're not going to spend above our means. If you can't go, you can't go. But you're just not going to say it. You could tell your friends, sorry, I have other plans. I can't make it. And within, you're going to say, I have more than enough money to go with my friends. I have more than enough money to pay for these amazing dinners. And you're going to stick to that story. You're going to ignore the 3D. You're going to stick to that story. You're going to persist. You have to act as if money is not an issue. Okay, but like I said, it doesn't mean you're going to rack up credit cards and buy luxurious things to pretend that you have money, because if I had money, I'd be buying these things. No, but you wouldn't be complaining if something was expensive. You wouldn't be getting upset if a bill came out. Listen, I get it. We are living a 3D reality. We see it. It hurts us. It bothers us. The thing is, you have to kind of be like, nope, no big deal. Some way, somehow, I'm going to pay this off. Some way. Look what happened with my client. Who would have thought? $20,000. Like, where are you going to get that from? Where would you find that? You know, especially under those circumstances. And she had all these fears and doubts. Her dad's going to find out. They're going to get mad. They're going to be disappointed in her. You know, they're going to complain that she's... It was just going to go spiraling downhill. I'm so glad she contacted me when she did, because we caught the spiral. We interrupted it right away, and we went to the new story hard. And it's exactly how it manifested. Dad no longer needed the money, canceled the renovations because grandma was moving in, right? I've had some successes with myself as well. I think I've shared this in some other videos. I remember receiving a check from a job that I left about 5 years prior. And the check was from, so I live in Canada, and money comes off your paycheck to go to like your pension. So when you retire, you can have monthly income after you retire. But this check was like some sort of a lump sum, like a large lump sum. And I didn't understand what that was for, because I can't overpay or overshare, because they automatically just took the money from my paychecks. It had been 5 years since I left the job. So how did this even happen? Where did they figure it out? Where did 2 and 2 come together? So the first thing I did was I called and I was like, hey, just confirming this money's mine, because I don't know. And they had said, I still don't understand. they had said something about when you leave the job, if you don't merge it with another company, they give you a lump sum. Now, the lump sum has nothing to do with the money that I'm going to get when I'm retired. It's not that money that they gave me. This check is like something additional that I could either add to my new job to continue with my pension, or I could use that lump sum now. And I asked them, I said, well, how much will I make with my pension? How much will I make monthly? Is it going to affect me? And it wasn't really going to affect me much, so I kept the lump sum. That money literally came out of nowhere. Like, I still don't understand the explanation, okay? And then another thing that had happened was I was working 2 jobs at one point. So when I was doing my taxes, I had to owe back a lot, because when you make over a certain amount, you have to pay back a lot. And the amount that I had to pay back was close to what I made with that check. So first of all, I was like, okay, I can use that check to pay that off. So then technically I'm not using my money. I'm not dipping into my savings. But then I was like, no, because that's going to justify the thought that I have of money comes and goes. I just got this money from my old job and now I got to use it to pay something off. You know, I'm like, no, we're going to interrupt that story now. When I get money, it's here to stay. When I get money, I keep it. And I kept affirming some way, somehow, when I get money, it's here to stay. I said my intentions. I said the things that pertain to me. My tax lady calls me and she says, I'm going to change some things on your account. And if I were to put a certain amount of money into, it's called an RSP, like a retirement savings account, they deduct that from your taxes. You don't have to pay your taxes because they're going to keep it there and you can still use it for your retirement. So part of the money that I got, I put towards that, plus the rest I kept. So do you see how, as I was changing my story, the outcome was changing as well. It went from, first I had to owe back like $15,000. Then it went to, I got the $15,000 to pay it off, but then I was like, no, screw that. I want to keep this money. Then the story changed to my tax lady was able to change things. And then there was this loophole where if I put it into my special savings account, I get to keep it. So do you see how, had I spiraled and said, see, you know what? This always happens. Money's never here to stay. I'm always losing money. Like I just got it. And that stuff wouldn't have unfolded. It unfolded the way that it unfolded because I changed my assumption. I changed my story. I changed my fears and old beliefs about money. And that's how I got the money in. And even with little things, like when I started this, my most recent job that I currently am at now, I got 4 raises within the first 6 months. And I mean big raises, like $2, $3 every raise. Like once you're in the groove, you know, and then especially when you do start seeing movement, you start to relax. You start to be like, hey, this kind of works, you know, like money does come easily. Wow, I did change that. Wow. And as I'm more calm and relaxed and the scarcity mindset kind of went away and I kind of trusted that it was going to work and I believed it, I had to be in that mindset even without the proof. But when I start to see proof, that really like pumped up the jam where I was so calm with the money. And then all these things kept happening, kept coming up. So just a reminder, you really need to be on your P's and Q's when you are affirming. Keep a mental diet. Keep an eye on the thoughts, the stories, the assumptions you have. You want to jot down all those unfavorable thoughts and stories first. You want to create a new list and intention from those assumptions, which is the opposite, and you really need to stick to it. Don't get thrown if you see something unfavorable. Those are the best tests, you know. How are you going to react next time this happens? How are you going to react next time a bill comes? What are you going to say next time something expensive pops up? That's how you know you're really making progress. So on that note, I helped you guys out with some of your money blocks on how to manifest money fast. If you'd like coaching, the info is down below, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.